Hey guys, thanks for listening to Kinda Dating, the comedy dating podcast where influential guests and I break down the dating world and try to figure out why the do we all have commitment issues. Today's topic is dating app fatigue. I know. Let's do this. Hello, friends. I'm Natasha Chandel. You're listening to Kinda Dating. Guys, we have a great episode here for you today. We're going to jump right in. But if you like what you hear, please remember to screenshot the episode and tag us on social media. Also, if you have not already, why have you not subscribed to the podcast? Please look down at your phone, press the follow button, the plus button, the subscribe button, wherever you are watching this or hearing this, please follow us. And also leave us a 5-star rating or review. If you have liked anything, a new episode, you have thoughts. If it's not 5 stars, keep it to yourself or DM me. But if it's 5 stars, please do it on the app. Also, follow us. We're on social media. We're at Kinda Dating across the board. I'm at Natasha Chandel on Instagram and Facebook, and Natasha.Chandel on TikTok. All right. I have a great guest. She's back again on the podcast. She was here during the pandemic, I feel like, right? It was during pandemic time. So we only got to chat on Zoom.
Yeah.
And she has, she's always been a big star and influencer, but she's blown up even more. She's an amazing actor and influencer and podcast host herself. She got Joty Kay Uncut.
Yeah.
Guys, welcome Joty Kay.
Hi. Thank you for having me again in person.
I'm so glad we finally got to do this.
I know. I'm so glad. And you don't live that far from me at all.
No, not at all. And you and I always see pictures of each other at the same parties.
And we don't see each other at the party. Or I'm like,
Ever.
We were there.
I know, literally. I'm like, wait, what the
It's the most LA thing ever.
It's totally that. And also I feel like I'm really small. So I come in and out and I'm like, then I zoom out.
I know. But also with me, and a lot of people don't realize it, but I do get social anxiety sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah, when I get there, I get a little bit of it and I'm like, so people might think that I'm looking at them or I didn't see them. And I'm like, no, I'm just in my own world. Yeah. So
I used to get it a lot more, I think, than I do now. Now I just give less fucks a little bit. It's not that, because as in the point is I'm okay just being by myself or being quiet. Where before I used to overthink it and go, oh, they're gonna, now I'm just whatever.
Yeah, that's why I go in and out, do my thing, take my pictures, enjoy the event, and I'm out.
Yes, that's me too. I don't linger.
I don't linger either.
Even in stand-up, I'm kind of like that. Sometimes I'm like, people must think I'm an but it's just because I like to go home and sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
girl,
I don't like getting into nonsense, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You know,
I've been in plenty nonsense.
Yeah, people like to drink after or whatever. I'm like, I'm not a big drinker and I don't want to wild out and do some dumb shit. So I'm just
I'm just going to go home and go. That's actually very responsible of you.
Yeah, but it's boring now.
I'm in the middle. I have my days where I sporadically will be like, today's the day that I'm going to get fucked up. And then I have weeks of just nothing.
Can you can you handle drinks?
I used to be better at it. Now, I think maybe because I eat more clean and things, it hits me harder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm 2-3 drinks. I'm like, woo. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a 2 drink. And
I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But I do get excited though sometimes when I'm with friends. I'll take the shots. I'll do that stuff. And then the next morning, I'm like, why the fuck?
Why did I do it?
Yeah. So
I was just saying, I watch people on TV and they drink all the time. And I'm like, oh man, it looks so fun. How come it's not fun for me?
Yeah.
I just feel so sick. I'm like, fuck it.
It's getting there for me. I get sick in the morning. Today, last night, I had 4 margaritas. I woke up I felt like I had 10. I was like, I went to sleep by 11:30. What is going on?
Yeah. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
It does.
Joty, it's been a while since you've been on. So first question, single or in a relationship?
Kind of dating. No, I was gonna
okay.
to an exclusive person. I met him on New Year's actually. I was I was in Toronto for an event and I was actually kind of talking to some guy before that. And he just sucked. Just one of those people that will talk to you for weeks at a time and then just kind of disappear.
No, we're not doing that anymore.
I'm too old for that shit. So I was like, man, I want to go out tonight. Man, I went out the day before New Year's Eve. And I go out and it was just guys were so thirsty. And I'm like, ew, But there was one guy that was just kind of looking at me. And then I'm thinking like, why isn't he trying to talk to me? Oh, he probably has a girlfriend, just
Yeah.
probably has a girlfriend. Then he looks at me again. And then I'm like, okay, we're looking at each other. Then I go to the bar and he comes up and he's like, hey, I know that there's guys all trying to talk to you, but I just want to know, may I buy you a drink? And it's
Oh my gosh, that's so polite.
right. And that's the thing. Like, if that's what did it for me though, and that's so basic and so simple, but the may I buy you a drink did it for me.
Yes. Oh my God, I can't tell you how many times on this podcast I've said, it would have been an immediate no if a guy ever used the phrase, you should do this.
Oh, you should, yeah.
You should let me buy you a drink. You should have a drink with me. I'd be like, there's a lot of things I should and shouldn't do.
Right?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Ask me like a polite person.
Like, may I buy you a drink? And I was laughing with my friend about it till this day. I'm like, that's how bad dating is. That somebody that's polite to you is what does it for you. And he did. He bought me the drink. And then I don't really remember the convo, but I do remember my friend coming saying, let's dance. And he's like, go ahead, go dance. And if you want to come back, I'll be here waiting for you. And I thought that was the sweetest thing ever. And I went and danced and I thought about him. I'm like, is he still there? And then we went back and he was there.
And it's also shows a quiet confidence too, right? He's not feeling threatened about you going out there and doing your thing.
Or stay with me because I bought you a drink. Those people that linger around you after they buy you a drink. And I'm like, I didn't ask for this. You wanted to get it from me. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, but I don't know you shit.
Yeah, I don't know you nothing. You wanted to, and I'm not feeling the vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then we hung out on New Year's Eve. We had a New Year's kiss, and then we've been talking. Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
But I had to go to Canada for it, and not Vancouver, Toronto. It was 5 hours away.
That's my home.
Oh, is it?
I'm from Toronto.
Okay, Toronto is where I found him.
Yeah,
or he found me. I don't know. We found each other, but. It's because dating is so bad here. I hate LA dating.
Do you?
I do.
Why? What has been sort of the
it's just the fastness of it, everybody knows everyone, everyone's been with everyone. Or I also feel like people don't want to settle down in LA. Everyone's in this Peter Pan kind of thing, never want to grow up, never want to settle down, never, never, never.
Which is so wild to me because I'm like you're a sad dude on the other side, so it just makes no sense.
You just keep going after younger, new girls, batch of girls that keep coming into LA. That's what I think they're doing.
Oh yeah,
the new batch. Oh, they don't know about me. They don't really know the world yet. Let me prey on her. Okay, done. Next batch. And that's the thing. And I think men really think that we can get any girls. The older girls are the ones. I've literally heard a man that I was talking to tell me that I'm gonna be good regardless. You're the one that's getting older, and I was like,
"Are you kidding me?"
I swear to God. And he's like, "I'm 38. I'm still fine." And I'm like,
"No, boo boo, you're not. Does somebody need to tell them the truth?"
I'm like, "You need to go to Turkey soon. Your hairline is back here."
Well, that's the thing. Is it's so wild to me because guys, when I was single. I also hooked up with younger guys at one point. And it's not like I meant to. It just kind of happened a couple times. Yeah. And I was like, yo, whoever's lying to you guys and saying men are age fine wine. I'm like, you have not been with a 22-year-old.
No.
They're 10 times hotter than you.
So much. I mean, I'm with a younger one now. And I've always went older.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have a little bit of daddy issues. So it's like the older men.
Fair.
And they just ended up being very controlling and very judgmental, and I've dated all races. They're all the same. I'm like, are you an Indian man? Because I thought you were Puerto Rican. I thought, and they, same thing. They get very controlling, very insecure. So, and then now.
And I could see that for somebody like you too, because you are, and you're an influencer, you're very much out there, you're beautiful. And guys kind of they always want the trophy but they want it just for themselves. And so they're very then they start getting possessive-y,
Possessive,
and
yes.
the same reason they love you is the reason they are scared of you.
Exactly.
Right? And
they start to dim your light.
Yeah.
And they always dim my light.
You cannot ever do that. I'm only with my fiance now because he let me just be me. Because before that, I used to have the same thing. People always wanted to be with you for whatever they perceived you were. And then they would
liked it at that moment.
And then they get super insecure about it.
Exactly.
And I'm in a relationship now where he just loves it. He doesn't watch anything of mine on social. He sees that people message all the time, guys message. He doesn't care. He's like,
same with this one.
And vice versa. I see on his and I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares.
Nobody
We're
cares.
Like, just do you.
Exactly. He'll laugh at my videos and he'll be like, go get your content, girl. And he was so funny about it because sometimes I'll talk in a way that I'm single, but it's because, certain content things, right? And he doesn't care because he knows I'm coming home to him, I'm going to FaceTime him after I make this video. And that's what I feel like men fail to understand. Like women are not just trophies and like possessions or people, and you need to be secure with yourself. And I think that says a lot. And he's younger, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Maybe he's like more open to it for that.
I don't know. I mean, because listen, a lot of people who are younger are also super immature. That's what people say. But I think it just sounds like this person has a good head on their shoulders and are mature and have.
Yeah, he has his little moments, but as for like thinking and thoughts and the way his brain works. And I've always said this. I don't know if I said this on your podcast, but I've said it on one when I was looking for somebody. I said I wanted them to be the same ratio as me, like the same Indian ratio, the same American ratio, where we can switch it up when we need to, but then we also understand that, hey, I was born in America and I'm American.
Completely.
Yeah. So, and I feel like I found that like he has a Canadian ratio and then he has the Indian side and it's nice.
Yeah, it's a tough thing because like I have also talked about it on the podcast where like I struggled for a while to date just like American people who had no cultural background.
Yes,
because like I'm so cultured, even though I'm very like American Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. Like I love my
westernized,
culture.
Whatever we want to call
Western,
it. But,
yeah.
It's like, but at the same time, like you and I are super proud of our heritage and we love to do our stuff and we love to dress up in the clothes and we like to go to the temples and we like to do our things. And
like I went to the temple yesterday in the morning and then at night I was having margaritas.
Yeah.
Balance.
Exactly.
Balance. Like,
exactly.
Had time for God and now I'm having margaritas. I don't see anything wrong with it.
I don't think God sees anything wrong with it either. It's perfect. That's what you got to do.
My relationship with
100%.
God.
I love it because like everybody thinks it's like one or the other. And
it's not.
No.
And I feel like people like that are the ones that push you away from culture, to be honest. Culture and religion and things.
Because I feel like people are getting really, really tired of dating. And I'm going to be straight up honest, and we'll cut this little section out, guys, as you're listening. We're going to change this topic. So we're not going to do dating app fatigue. We'll just do about general like dating and how guys can be better about it. Because I think that's what's naturally happening here.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we should go with it.
Let's go with it.
Unless you want to stay on dating apps.
I can talk about that. I can
feel
talk
like, we'll do a little mix, but I think we can,
about how dating, like how I did have, like what my dating life was like.
Yeah.
Before.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I feel like I want to know, like, okay, you got lucky right now. You met somebody IRL, but were you on dating apps before?
100%. I was on Hinge. I was on Bumble. And Tinder was just a friggin' no-no.
Oh, no. Girl, why were you even on Tinder?
I don't know. It was before I like the stigma of it. Yeah. And then later on, I started realizing like that was the thing. And I deleted it. And so it was Bumble and Hinge. And I feel like they both were just like people just trying to get followers.
Yeah.
Like that's what it kind of seemed like to me.
Oh, like yeah, because people would put the Instagram profiles on there,
and then
right?
They would just DM me a few times and that was that. And I'm like, this is so stupid. And then I had gotten approved for Raya. That was so stupid.
That's an even worse.
It's
so vapid, right? It's so like,
dumb.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
So surface.
But Hinge, I thought could have been a little bit like, I was like, oh, Hinge seems more, better. And it wasn't. It would just be like for hookups or sometimes like the way they would invite me, like, do you want to come over tonight? And I'm like, no, I don't want to come over tonight. Like, do you not want to like FaceTime first, make sure I'm a real person? Do you not want to like go meet for dinner? So
because guys don't feel the same thing that women feel, right? Women feel also a sense of physical fear.
Yeah.
Like we want to make sure like, yo, do you exist as a person? I need to make sure like you're,
I watch murder docs.
Yeah.
I'm a murder doc girly. So I think every possibility, I'm like, my friends have my location. They know I'm going on a date and they're just like, yeah, come over. And you're like,
No. Who do you know who? I don't know who you are.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And then, so that was one thing. Another one would be me and my friend would show each other matches and they would be the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was
like an always awkward.
It was so awkward. And I'm like, oh, you matched with him too. What did he say to you? And then we'd share it. And then I'd be so turned off. Because, you don't want to like date. At least I'm that way. I don't want to date the same people my friends talk to.
Of course. Yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
I think it's weird in general when people are like, oh, yeah, I used to fuck him. And now she's with my friend. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's weird.
No, it's weird.
Yeah. So it was just, I feel like I'd be up for hours and my finger would cramp up and it would be a night thing for me because I think you get lonely at night. And then during the day, I'm like, this app,
Always. It's always a night thing.
Yeah. It's always a night thing when you're lonely in your bed and you're like, meh.
Yeah.
And just conversations were just like, how are you? And then I would try to do some funny stuff where I'm like, let me make the convo. So I would look at their profile and I'd be like, what's your favorite sushi spot? Or, oh, I always wanted a skydive. I don't know, some corny shit like that, right? But it would just die down. And the times that I have gone on a date, they were really weird.
Really?
Yeah. So there was this one guy that I went on a date with and we went to the Whaler in Venice. And this was like when I had first moved to LA. So like I wouldn't go to the Whaler now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very...
that wouldn't be my first date choice now.
It's very like frat college.
Yeah, I've evolved as a woman. At that moment, I didn't know any better. So when he comes up with crutches, and he really failed to mention that he had crutches, which I feel like would be the first thing you would mention while we're talking, but okay. And then he comes with a brown bag because he went and got a Hennessy bottle and took a shot before he came on the date with me. Yeah, I can't make this up. And if you were to see the picture of this man, he was a handsome, light-skinned guy and pictures were great. And I didn't do like my homework in a sense, like I didn't FaceTime or anything, but he said the Whaler. I'm like, okay, public place.
Yeah.
Cool, public place. So then I already knew. I text my friend. I'm like, at this point, I'm here for the story.
Yeah.
I'm here for the story because this is.
And what kind of crutches? Like I'm talking like.
Crutches.
Like the ones like he broke a leg
like
or
he broke a leg.
Has a disability.
He broke a leg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's something about Mary, like that kind of crutches or what are we talking?
He broke a leg.
Got it.
And then he had to take the stairs to go upstairs to the Whaler because there's stairs. So that was really awkward. And then we get upstairs and we're at the bar and people are trying to like offer their seat to him and he's getting angry. He's like, no, I'm fine. And I'm like, bro, you have fucking crutches.
Yeah, like literally.
So anyways, we sit down and I'm like, what happened to you? He's like, I got in a motorcycle accident. I've been very depressed. I didn't want to tell you because I thought you would tell me to stay home because that's what every girl's been telling me. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay.
I would have probably said so.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, okay. And then I was like, whatever, how did it happen? And then he starts telling me he has a son. And at this moment, this is 5 years ago. So I'm younger. I'm not ready for son, right? And I'm like, okay, he has a son. He's in crutches. He just told me he moved back to his mom's place because he's, in crutches. And it's just, and then he's
taking a shot of Hennessy before a date in the middle of the day.
And he's downing Hennessy and Cokes while I'm drinking my beer. Like I'm still on my beer and he's probably on the second round. And I'm just like, it's crazy. And then at the moment, it just seems like he wants somebody to take care of him.
Yeah.
So I'm just here for fun at this point. And then we decide to go to a bar. And the song Back, I can't make any of this up. This is hilarious. The song Back That Ass Up comes, right? And I've never seen a man in crutches. He's against the wall with his crutches and I'm just here. He bends me over. He bends me over to the song Back That Ass Up. And I'm like, did you just bend me over? And at this point, I'm like, I gotta go home. And he's like, I'll drop you to your car. I'll drop you to your car. And I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll take an Uber. He's like, no, I'll drop you. So when we get in his car, he literally lunges over to my side and tries to make out with me. But literally gets on top of me and tries to make out with me.
Oh my God.
And he's in crutches. I'm like, I thought you had a broken leg. And I instantly jumped out of the car. I'm like, get away from me. And he's going next to me. He's like, get in the car, Joty, get in the car. I'm like, no, absolutely not.
It would have been so funny if he suddenly walked out and could actually walk and run behind you. And you're like, you fucking dick.
He throws a crutch out. He's like, hold on. I cannot make this up. And then I block him on everything. Then he tries to call me from a different number.
No.
And yeah, so that was one of my Hinge experiences. That was very interesting.
That's crazy. And that was 5 years ago. So I met my fiance on Hinge.
Oh, really?
3 weeks before the lockdown.
Oh,
but
my
it's
gosh.
crazy. And like, and it's, I have a few friends actually who are in serious relationships now because they met on Hinge. But the experience is so different for different people, and the apps have all changed, like for sure.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know if you know this, but they say dating app usage has gone down like a ton. So millennials aged like 30 to 49 are at 61% of using dating apps.
Oh, wow.
Gen Z, who are 18 to 29, is 26%.
Oh, wow.
And so I don't know if you know this, but like all the dating apps are trying to change their algorithms and stuff, and like the whole interface, everything, because their profits are dropping so much and they're having all these layoffs at the company.
Yeah.
So like Bumble.
Yeah.
Did you read about this?
No.
Bumble recently took out the feature that the female has to initiate the conversation.
Oh, wow.
So now it's like any other dating app.
Well, that's why I didn't succeed on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
I would be like, I don't know what to say. And then the time would be up. I'm like, oh, okay, well,
yeah,
there goes that.
So now they've opened it up and it's just like any regular dating app, which I mean, kind of defeats its purpose, but
it does defeat
but
its
it also
purpose.
like, so I feel like it's just become a basic app.
It's a basic app.
I don't know what the thing is, but they're all like really trying to get people in because people are so tired of apps and like dates like you're talking about, and
so,
people
like,
not being
want it to be natural.
Yeah. So like Gen Z are much more like vocally critical about dating apps, and their thing is like they want authenticity, and they like vibe with people's vibe. And self-care is like very important to them and stuff.
Yes.
So like this kind of experience where it's like somebody's just not being honest from the jump.
From the
like,
jump, yeah.
What do you do? Like, and it's a waste of your fucking time.
Waste of your time. It's a great story, but like he could have, like, what if he raped me? You know what I mean? I mean, like any of that. And then, I mean, I didn't get off the app after that. Of course I didn't.
No, of course.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like, then
still.
I fear, like, I'm like, okay, is this person real? And now I'm doing research. I go on their Instagram. And I get icks really fast.
Yeah,
I get really icked out really fast. And
what are some of your icks?
I hate people that talk about themselves like right away off the jump. I hate it. Like, I know you have to, but like this one guy was like telling me, I was like, oh, what do you do? And he was like, I am an investment banker and I got picked by BlackRock. They saw my LinkedIn and I am a blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you could have left out the whole LinkedIn story. I work for BlackRock now. You know, it's amazing, whatever. Oh, great. You know, I think it's BlackRock. I don't know, something big. Yeah. But I was just like, what? And I ended up seeing him out in person one time at one of the Indian events. And he was much shorter than I, expected him to be. And then I'm like, okay, I saw him in person. Let's go eat after or something. And then he shows me like his loafers. It was so weird, his loafers. And he's like, yeah, these are Sperry's. I have one in every single color. I'm like, I don't know what the Sperry's are.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares. I'm like, what the are Sperry's?
Yeah.
I know what Vans are. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So then I went home and looked them up and I'm like, what the like?
But it clearly sounds like somebody who's insecure and trying to impress you.
But
and
money.
So they're.
But a lot of men in LA think every girl wants that. And not every girl is a gold digger. Like, I like guys with money. Sure, that's nice.
But it's more about like you want somebody who's like stable and like not going to be living off of their parents. But at the same time, you don't need them to be like arrogant about their money.
Exactly. There was this quote that I read actually online. It was, would you rather, it was like about sugar daddies or whatever. Would you rather cry in a Rolls Royce or a Honda? I would rather not cry at all. You know what I mean? And the girls were like, Rolls Royce, I'll cry in a Rolls Royce. And I'm like, no, I don't want to cry at all.
Why is he making you cry?
Yeah, why is he making me cry? Why do I have to pick what car I want to cry in? I don't want to cry at all. Like, and I think a lot of men don't realize that. And then they end up with the girls that just want them for money and they cheat on them.
Yep.
So it's like this cycle that just keeps going on
and they perpetuate it themselves. I mean, we just did a whole episode on this where I was like, guys are upset that they feel like women are gold diggers. I'm like, you created society. Literally every societal norm has been created by a man. There are no norms that have been created by women. Nope. The only time that we have ever remotely succeeded, and I'm doing it in air quotes for the YouTube, for the audio listeners, is that is Me Too, and men pushed back on that too. So
They're
there's
like,
nothing,
women lie.
Yeah.
Women lie.
There's nothing in our society that has not been created by men.
Exactly.
So take fucking accountability.
Take accountability. You guys did this.
You guys want to flaunt and throw your money around. Then you're like, well, I don't know why she's using me for my money. Don't fucking flaunt and throw it around. Like, you got money, keep it to yourself. Be humble, be nice about it, treat people nicely.
Treat people nicely.
If she likes you and figures out you got money, great.
Great. Yeah, don't.
Like, nobody's saying also, like, yeah, be like cheap about it, but just be a normal fucking person.
Be a normal fucking person. And I think that's where the older guys come in, right? Because they fucked around so much and didn't want to get in a relationship, and now they're old and all they have is their money.
Yeah.
That's all they have to offer.
Yeah.
And that's what other people see, and it's just a cycle.
Yeah,
but
totally.
Yeah, I'm so glad I'm not in that cycle. I mean, don't get me wrong. They'll be like, oh, I want a rich man. And I did it. And I got cheated on many times. And then he had a baby on me. Well, yeah, it was.
I'm sorry.
So it doesn't matter. So basically I thought about it. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, money can come. Like, if you work hard and you save together and just be happy. Like, I don't want to be in a big house lonely as fuck, getting cheated on.
And I remember, for me, in all my dating experiences, I dated like every combination of a guy.
Yeah.
Like, mine was like, okay, if he's short this time, then next time it's tall. Then next time it's like super rich. Then next time it's that. Sometimes it's young. Then it's like older. Then I was like, all right, don't go with the fit guys. Go with the unfit guys. I'm like, dad bods. Let's do dad bods, you know?
Dad bods.
And like, I literally tried everything to be like, no, okay, he didn't graduate high school. Let's go with the fucking, PhD.
Valedictorian.
Yeah. Like, I did every opposite thing, and I realized none of that stuff mattered.
Doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, if somebody's a shit person, they're just a shit person.
They're a shit person.
And they could be a shit person having nothing, and they could be a shit person having everything. So it's just like, you got to find the people who are not shit people.
Exactly. And I think that's hard on dating apps, because you're basically like looking at a menu, and I'm not going to lie, I discredited people because of their height so much. I'm like, oh no. No. And then it was just so bad. And I'm like, I felt like an asshole. I'm like, so I don't even go down. I'm like, oh, 5'11", and it's so bad. And then at a point I got fatigue, dating app fatigue, because I'm like, I just want to go to Whole Foods and run into somebody. So then I'm like, where? And I telling my friend, I was like, should we go jogging in Beverly Hills every day and find someone? So I understand the dating app fatigue, because I had dating app fatigue. Just want to meet somebody in real life.
Yeah, no, dating app fatigue is a real thing.
It really is.
Everyone's talking about it. And like, it's partially that, right? Is that nobody is exactly what they seem.
Mm-hmm.
I now do, part of this podcast is I do offer a service where I go through people's dating profiles.
Oh, cool.
And actually, my partner and I do it. So Luis is he's a brand strategist, and I'm a writer, obviously, and performer. So for us, it's like we combine and we go through people's dating apps, and we give them, we help them like basically
make it better,
work it so it's actually authentic to them.
Got it.
And we've had a lot of success. We have like one of our couples, like literally a guy met a girl like within, I think, less than a month of our stuff. And then they now live together, and it's a whole thing.
Nice.
So but the big thing I learned from doing that was like, people are so unaware of they are putting themselves on the app.
Mm-hmm.
Like, one girl was like, I'm alpha, I'm this, I'm that. And then she also said, and I honestly, I'm going to say straight up, I'm not like a funny person. So she admitted that. And I said, oh, cool.
Okay.
But we looked at her app and we're like, girl, you come off like this cutesy girl next door when you're saying, I'm a badass, like I'm very alpha in a relationship. And two, I was like, in 3 times in your one profile, you said that you are either you love a sense of humor, or you are the funniest person in a room. And she was like, I did. And then we were like, right here, you have a prompt that says a review from a friend. And the prompt said, she will be the person to make you laugh the most. And I was like,
doesn't match. Yeah.
I was like, but you literally said you're not a funny person. She goes, yeah, I'm not. And I was like, okay, so we need to change that. So, because then if somebody's seeing that and they go out on a date with you,
they're
expecting you to be funny. So like, of course, you're literally setting it off on the wrong foot.
100%.
But people are not aware of like the pictures they're posting up there. Like you are, because you're in this business and you are aware of.
Especially men, they don't know what pictures to post.
Nothing.
They post their favorite picture from 10 years ago and they don't even look like that anymore.
No.
I'm like, change your picture.
No, totally. Or they'll do sunglasses, or they'll mean mug, or they'll do shirtless. And I'm like, at the gym, I'm like, don't, or dumb shit.
Or
where
with
they'll
a
have
bunch
like
of guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, now I think your friend's hot.
Exactly.
You just set yourself up
and
for
same
failure.
with girls too. Girls always do group pictures. And Luis and I are always like, no group pictures. Because, you know, it's two things. One, sadly, a guy could look at your friends and go, either she's hotter, or they could look at your friends and go, well, they're not attractive.
Yeah.
I don't want to be hanging out.
Hanging
like
out
it
with
just
that,
is, people are assholes. Like
people are assholes. Yeah.
So
especially in LA, they want a good-looking group of people to be around. Yeah.
And I feel like a big thing also is the algorithm, right? Like people are feeling like companies are exploiting their pain and their love and or their want for love,
100%.
and they can't beat the algorithm. Which is like they're not getting shown the people that they actually could match with.
Sometimes I would get shown the same person. I'm like, I already said no.
Yeah. Why are you not, like, you're the smartest algorithm in the world. Why are you not accepting that I swiped left?
I said no. Yeah. Like, and then it come back and I'm like, what? And then at a point I started thinking, I'm like, is this a sign? Like, you know? Yeah, you
start questioning yourself.
You start questioning, but that's maybe what they want. But it annoys me because they keep showing me the same batch of people. I'm like, I know there's way more people out here. Yeah, so they definitely need to change their algorithm.
And a big thing is people are feeling like the only way that they can meet people is by through a paywall. So like all the companies are doing that. And I admit that so I wasn't very much on dating apps because I've always kind of been like out and about.
Yeah.
So I can honestly count on I think in total of my life, I was on a dating app maybe 1 to 2 months total.
Oh, total.
I would only do, I would only do 2 weeks and then I'd delete it. Then I'd come for 2 weeks and I'd delete it. So it just wasn't in my, it just wasn't a habit for me because I was just bad at it. But then in 2019, I took a year off. And of just dating, I was like, I'm just tired of guys and distracting me. Cause I was just like, you're a distraction at this point in my life, you know? And I was like, I want to focus on my work. I want to get ahead. That's it. And then when I finally came back on, I got on Hinge. It was my first time on Hinge. And I was like, you know what? I just don't want somebody coming up and going I've got a kid. I do drugs or I do whatever. And so I paid. And I was like, oh, at the time it was so much cheaper. I heard now it's crazy expensive.
I have no idea.
It was $40 and for 3 months. And I said, oh, cool. That way I can pick everything I don't want.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So because I was getting tired of somebody being like, I'm sorry, also a bit of a heightist, but somebody is 5'4", and I'm like, I'm 5'2.5". The math on that would never work,
Exactly.
if I ever had a kid. So I'm like, so I was just like, I'm gonna pick everything that I don't want, and I did.
Good.
And Luis was my third match.
Oh,
but that was very, I had gotten to a point where I was like, stop with me.
Yeah, stop.
These apps need to stop with me, right? They are showing me people that I'm trying to teach it what I don't want.
Exactly.
Right? Because the whole thing
with
an
an
algorithm is
you took control.
you swipe right, and it teaches it oh, she likes this kind of person.
Oh, that's true.
And so people, guys, if you don't know that, that's what those algorithms are doing. So if you start going numbers game and you start swiping right on everybody, that's half your problem. So only swipe on types of people. Straight up, I'm sorry to say this, don't hate me. I've never really been attracted to blonde hair, blue eyes.
Okay.
It just wasn't a thing for me.
It's not a thing for me either.
Right? I'm not saying
I mean, they're good looking.
Yeah,
but it's not for me. Yeah.
It just wasn't a thing that I'm like, oh, so hot for me. So admittedly, I would always swipe left on that. And so I always got dark haired guys because it's just what I was naturally into. And so you're always teaching it. So guys, in the dating apps, that's a big thing. And another little trick while we're here is because people feel like they're getting the same pool over and over.
Over and over, yeah.
And it really sucks. But every social media platform, I don't know if you're hearing this about Facebook and Instagram too, but Instagram is putting more emphasis on new accounts.
I know. I've noticed.
Right?
Sometimes I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I post at the same time I always post. and
Same with me. I'm not getting nothing.
So now I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever happens, great.
Same.
Yeah, it's
Same.
annoying. Actually,
It's very, very annoying. But
Yeah.
I'm in these like creator communities, and they're all talking about it.
Okay,
But it's because all these apps and these companies, and these social media companies, and dating apps are like that. They are promoting and pushing new accounts. So if you want to be at the top of the pile, delete your account fully. Like take screenshots of your shit, delete the whole account, and give it like 48 hours. Restart the account. You'll be back at the top of the pile, and you'll get all the like hottest people first.
Oh wow!
You get like all the new
batch.
Yeah, the new batch. You will. That's literally it. Because and then you have to use it very carefully. Then do the things I'm saying, which is like swipe only on the types of people that you want to see more
I
of.
tell my single friends this because I have some friends that are just tired. That at this point they just want anyone, and it makes me sad. I'm like, no, you waited this long. We need to get the right person.
Yeah, you can't. Don't up because like, it breaks my heart. Like and I'm lucky. I knock on wood every day. I thank God every day, because like. I found somebody who, and we got lucky. Look, they're the pros and cons of dating apps, right?
Yeah.
Like Luis is from Spain. He's 9 years older than me. We have no crossover in our life.
Yeah.
Like even to this day, nobody on our social medias were ever like mutual friends. We didn't live in the same areas. We didn't hang at the same places.
Yeah.
And he wasn't partying at the kind of spots I was going to. So like the app is how we met. And I don't know how else we would have met in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. But that was just us. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but I'm saying dating apps have got to be more of like another tool in your toolbox versus like the box.
Yeah.
It can't be like the only thing that you use. It should just be like one of many. Like you got a screwdriver, you got a fucking wrench, you got, I don't know tools.
You can't solely rely on that. Yeah, exactly.
I don't do anything handy. But I feel like there are other things in the box.
I get what you're trying to say. No, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense actually. And also what I have learned is when you do go travel, open up your dating app there.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah,
it's so fun.
That's one thing I did enjoy. I did go on like little like New York dates and little different state dates, but they were just that. I
mean, that's the again, pro and con, right? Like but you obviously have met somebody in Toronto and
in person.
So
in real life.
But they live there.
They live there.
Yeah.
But with me, I'm weird. Just like you, I hate being distracted. I like my men kind of far from me.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? So I can focus on me. And I like the enjoyment of like, okay, next month I'm going to come see you. And then you come see me, And I think you learn a lot about people by having space in between. 100%. You learn more communication skills and you gain more tools. So when it is time to move in with each other, you already passed those obstacles, is what I think. That's my view on
100%.
it. Yeah, and I like long distance relations, but some people don't. They need their people next here,
Yeah. I mean, at least you're honest about it because I say like that is, I used to always do long distance relationships. And I said it was because I liked the freedom, but then I also like the idea of like, I still have somebody and like I can still talk to them and somebody's witnessing your life in a way. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, good. I need some
I still
space.
get to do my thing. Yeah. Yes. I don't have somebody like constantly like trying to see me, trying to hang out with me because we're bosses. We got things to do.
We're doing things all the time.
All the time. And it does become a distraction sometimes.
Yeah. And it's hard. I mean, to find people who like let you do your own thing. Like we really are, in my relationship, like it's still hard in the sense that he never stops me. But now I'm always like, all right, but I don't want to go out like 4 times a week the way I used to. Now I do twice a week.
Yeah.
But we give each other the freedom, but you have like a responsibility.
Exactly.
So it makes it a little tougher.
It does. Yeah. And trust too, like when you're in a long distance relationship, you really need trust.
Yeah.
And a lot of I don't want to say a lot, like 1 or 2 of my relationships, were broke because they didn't trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, so you want me to be on the phone with you the whole time?
Like
somewhere?
literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people who are like, oh, they didn't message back right away. It's like, do you want somebody who's literally available to you at every second? Like, do they have no work or ambition or any responsibilities
like
in their
hence,
life?
like we're doing this podcast or something, right? Like, what am I supposed to whip out my phone and be like, hold on, hey, like, and there are people like that. And I think people are rude when they do that when you're hanging out.
Of
like,
course.
who wants to just constantly just talk to somebody that's on their phone? But again, that's maturity and
Like we don't get mad at our friends when they don't text us back like in 1 second because we trust them. We trust like, oh, they must be busy and they're going to get back to us and let us know what's up.
And I also have like ADHD. So my friends know like she forgot, let me double text her. I'm like, oh my God, hey.
Yeah.
But you understand, but some people don't get it.
No, totally.
But you'll find that person.
Yeah, I do think so. And I part of it, and I say this with as much love as possible, is like people have to also take personal accountability
100%.
a little bit, right? Like dating apps are not the problem. It's like I don't want to get into a big debate about I'm not a gun supporter, like as in I don't want a gun. But at the same time, I agree with the fact that when people say I'm like guns themselves are not the problem or money itself is not the problem. It's how you're using shit, right?
Yeah.
And because like, yeah, look, if there's a robber outside my house, I want a cop to have a gun and like take care of him, But
that's
the same
cop,
with money,
though.
right? Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How and who is using it, I think is important, right?
Exactly.
And it's the same thing with dating apps. It's like, it's a fucking tool. It's not the source of your problem. The source of your problem is probably that you're using it without any level of consciousness, without any awareness. You are not aware of what you're putting out there, what you want. So then you're swiping on people that you probably wouldn't be a match with. You're probably not even reading the profiles. So I would just start swiping
because they're hot, right?
Yeah, sometimes you're like, fuck it, they're hot. But then it's like you got to then take accountability for the fact that, all right, well, I didn't look, and you are probably seen by, the fifth picture that they're a meathead who's only into their
themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And their dog, them and their dog.
Yeah. And so like you can see a lot if you're paying attention, but a lot of times we're not paying attention. And that falls on us. So again, there is a bigger thing happening for sure. Companies are exploiting people and love and the want for a relationship and a partner. But we are letting them by doing everything blindly. Like
That's
without
true.
any consciousness. So I really, really encourage people to firstly not put your whole self into an app. Like that is not a reflection of you. So it's just a tool. Again, it's
like
just
social
a
media
tool.
in a sense as well.
Yeah.
Like, like DMs, I feel like people DM you based on what they see on their profile. And if it goes somewhere, great. If it doesn't, it's what you're putting out there. But things with Instagram and things, that's like your heightened personality or your alter ego, I guess. But I've heard somebody tell me that, why am I going to get a dating app? I'll just DM. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, how you're saying about the tools, I think a lot of people probably get frustrated with dating apps because it starts seeming like, oh, here's another thing. Here,
no, it's true.
I have an Instagram, I have a Twitter, I have a Facebook, and now I have to think on this app.
Yeah.
And strategically do it. It's a lot.
It's so much.
Yeah,
it's so much.
But it works for some people. Like I'm sure people that are working constantly and can't go to Toronto or Whole Foods and things. I feel like it's
who can't go to Whole Foods?
I know. I was
and by that we mean just a grocery store.
Yeah, literally a grocery store. I mean, me and my friends would come up with little tricks of like how we should meet somebody. But then at a point we're like, whatever is going to happen, it's going to happen. But I feel like even hearing you telling me about the dating app, I'm thinking if I was single, I'd be frustrated. I'm like, now I need to figure out the fucking algorithm on this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tiring.
It's really annoying. And I feel so bad because like if people aren't into like the technology space or whatever, like we're still in media, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a producer in media. So for me, I know everything that's happening online in a different way because like all of these are really media companies and everything is clickbait. It's all algorithm based. It's nothing to do with like actually trying to help you.
No,
it's really about how to make you use it more. And I do think people are becoming more mindful of it.
Yes.
I also think, and I'm curious what you think, I think that also the reason Gen Z is so like over the apps is like millennials got dating apps sort of in the middle of our youth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we got, or just access to technology.
Yes.
Like I remember I got a phone at 14, but like, and the internet was like starting to become a thing
Yes.
then, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So for us, it was like, holy shit,
This is
access.
great.
This
Yes,
is amazing.
yeah.
And dating apps felt like the world is my oyster.
Yes.
And
so many options.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But like Gen Z were born with it, right? When
literally
you're
born with a tablet in your hand, like literally.
So like technology has no kind of, there's no like excitement and amazement around it.
They
Access
expect it.
is a normal thing.
Access is a normal thing, exactly.
Right? Like globalization is normal for them. To be able to talk to somebody in a different country is super easy for anybody. But I remember back in the day, we used to like fucking pay call. I had a boyfriend in India, and I would get calling cards to call him. You know what I mean?
You put money on it, and you have this certain amount of minutes.
We had no WhatsApp and fucking free calls and shit. Like I'm like, I wonder what that relationship would have been like, now.
AIM, I would talk to people on AIM that in like different countries. Yeah, I'm like, oh hey, where are you at? ASL.
Yeah, but it was like it felt like a thrill.
It was a thrill,
you know, and like then dating apps were a thrill at one point because we never had access.
We didn't.
But all these next generations, like Gen Z and Alpha, are born with access, so they want the opposite.
They want the opposite.
They want, like, those poor kids like couldn't go to, you know, their college and high school graduations because of the pandemic and shit. They just want to be with people in real life. They're like, if I don't know you. And they know that everybody's catfishing everybody. Everybody's got some digital persona that's not real.
Exactly.
Because they probably do it themselves.
100%.
And so they want to meet people in real life where they can be like, are you a human or not?
Yeah, because they're aware. They're aware because a lot of people that are so comfortable on the internet doing whatever they do. Like even with me, my personality on the internet is the like exaggerated version of me. Of course. It's me, but it's very exaggerated, right? And that's why I don't believe in the whole DMing situation and looking at these profiles and be like, oh, this person's probably amazing. Because I'm like, man, who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
And I could see, like, again, you know, for your stuff, and the same with my stuff, but mine is like goofy.
Yeah.
Is like you have this like, you know, sexy persona, like strong personality.
Yeah.
And I could see like a guy going like, well, that's how that, like, who doesn't have awareness?
100%. Well, that's why I'm wearing
doesn't
this.
realize it's a persona.
Divorce material.
Exactly.
Because they tell me I'm not marriage material all the time. Like people from my community.
It's stupid.
Yeah, just because the sexiness, the outspokenness, which I do feel those ways about myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a persona. I do wear bikinis to the fucking beach. Like,
of course. Who,
you know?
but that's a normal thing. Like, that is not an abnormal thing to do just because we're South Asian women. Like,
but that's my algorithm. It keeps pushing it to the ones that don't, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that puts different perceptions to other people about me. And the number one thing I always hear from people when they meet me, it's like, oh my God, you're actually really nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, thanks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what did you think I'm gonna start cussing you out in person?
Totally.
But that's what happens. So I feel like the same thing with dating apps. It's very important what you put out on there. Like I remember there was a quote, not a quote. It was like something that I had said about me. This is embarrassing, but funny. I wanted them to know I'm funny, right? I'm like, I don't judge anybody except Bill Cosby and what's his name?
Harvey?
No, the other one, the singer. R. Kelly.
Oh, R. Kelly.
R. Kelly. And then I would get people like to say stuff like, well, do you still have the music in your playlist? Like stuff like that. But it would make conversation you know? Or they would be like, haha, you're funny. And I had like my sexy pictures. And then I had one that was like before a relationship and after. And it was me in a Photoshop version of like me being bigger. I just don't know why I put it. Just a goofy thing. Yeah. But that's what did it for guys.
Yeah.
They loved it.
No, totally. Yeah, 100%.
Because they were like breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
You know?
I always feel like for women, you got to show a range of pictures. You know, if you do all sexy, then don't be upset that they're going to send you a dick pic.
Oh,
but
gosh,
but if you want that, that's totally cool. But like, don't be upset then if every picture is that. So like show a range because you're probably a complex person who also like likes to, for me, it's like I showed sexy like a couple. I'm like, all right, I want them to see I have a body, but I didn't make that the first picture.
No.
I put that a little later. And then I put one in like a full like sorry kind of thing because
I did that
I was
as well.
like, oh, again, my culture is very important. So like see that. But then I was like, hey, I feel like I have a nice face. So I put the face first because like know that I'm a like grounded human being.
Yeah.
So you can like, you know, you got to mix it up based on your personality.
I think that's very important because I think I had a lot of success with people, like in conversations from their part. It was just, I mean, again, I'm very self-aware. I was kind of the problem. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But the variation of pictures helped. The
Yeah.
bikini picture of the body, the face picture, the Indian picture, then the goofy picture.
Yes,
You
the
know.
goofy thing is very important. If that's
Yeah.
like, I, it's so funny that you get the like, oh, I'm nice. I used to get the opposite. They're like, oh, you're really quiet, because like my personality online is like, you know,
Yeah.
silly, boisterous
Silly,
comedian,
outspoken,
and
yeah.
I am, but like I'm also a really quiet person.
Yeah.
So I'm not quiet on a date, but in general, like I'm a
Yeah,
very
you're calm.
calm, quiet
Yeah.
person. Like when I'm at home, he doesn't realize like we're very quiet. Sometimes we don't talk to each other for hours. And we
Oh,
come down,
really?
we're like, hey, what's up?
Oh, hey, you're here.
Yeah, because like I'm a writer. I'm always just like me in the world.
Yeah,
You know?
so you're thinking here and letting it
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
Yeah, see, that makes sense.
But it used to be funny because people used to be like, oh,
They're
not-
expecting you to be
Yeah.
so exaggerated. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And I'm like, that would be so weird if I were that person
in
like,
real life, yeah.
walking around like making goofy faces and shit. But how can people sort of meet people outside of dating apps? Because clearly this isn't working and everybody's tired. And firstly, guys, it's okay to take breaks. So
It
like,
is.
don't
I took
think,
a lot.
yeah, don't think
Mhm.
like you gotta be on this hamster wheel. Take a break, reset your mind, come back if you really feel like it. Don't come back because, oh, I'm feeling lonely again.
Yeah.
Really go like, yeah, I'm in a good spot. Whatever happens here, happens here. I will say I got myself to a spot where I gave no fucks if somebody didn't message me. I was
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
like, you're a total stranger. I don't care.
I don't care.
If you
Whatever.
if you messaged, great. If you didn't, I've forgotten.
I've
So,
forgotten next.
moving
Yeah,
on.
Yeah, moving on. No, definitely. I think I just got really. Wait, what were we talking about?
Oh, sorry. I was saying, how can people meet people outside of dating
Oh, okay,
apps?
yeah. So I feel like going out there, like it doesn't have to just be, you know, I know a lot of us were behind a computer all day long. I am as well. I work from home. Go out there, like, and pay attention, because I realize like sometimes when I'm out, I'm just focusing on my friends. Look around. Look
Mhm.
around, talk to people. Like that night that I wanted to go out, I wanted to just get fucked up. Like I wasn't a guys. I'm done dating. Guys are shit. That's the mode I went in. I was like, we're getting fucked up tonight. And then I looked around and I saw a tall, handsome man, and I looked at him and I gave him the look, you know, and give him the look. Don't be so like stuck up or whatever. If they don't give it back to you, again, stranger who gives a fuck. Just give them the look, you know what I mean? Or if the man isn't sometimes like paying attention to you, I've seen my friend on purpose be like, go send him a shot. And I think that's hot.
Oh, that's hot.
That's hot. And she sent him a shot and they talked. And I was like, oh, I should do that. But I'm so like, woo,
Yeah.
you know, but like paying attention, like for me, that worked. And a lot of people say you can't find love in the club. I did. I did. So don't X out any options, you know?
No.
Go to the places you like to go. You know what I mean? Like
my best friend's married to her husband. They've been married for like 12 years or something. They met at a club.
See? And so, because we just what I think it is, like, we think that everybody at the club is just crazy there to fuck around, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes there's the guy that just went out to have a drink. The guy that got dragged out with his boys for a bachelor party or something. I think bachelor party is actually a great place to find men.
Yeah. Or they just enjoy music, or they
Yeah.
want they're
They're
like a normal
single.
person. Like
Yeah.
we're like we go to a club not because we're trying to like like I mean sometimes you are trying to get fucked up, but like it's just because you
Socialize.
enjoy that
Yeah.
like I love music
Me
and
too,
I love getting dressed
dancing.
up and like sometimes going out.
Girls like getting
that's
dressed
it.
up, literally. We just want to get dressed up with the girls or like your boys, whatever, you
Yeah.
know? And so you can find love in the club. So I feel like don't just X out anywhere. Like if you like to go hiking, look around. And I think that's what we don't do. We don't pay attention. We're all just on our phone and just so hyper focused that we don't look around. Like if that night I didn't look up, I was just like, well, I wouldn't have seen him. Or if I would have just like went and danced with my friends and not thought about him, like put the effort out there as well, you know, make it be known. And I think with me, I used to be like, if he wants to talk to me, he will. No, look at the guy.
Yeah, no, it's totally
Yeah.
like, again, if we're saying we don't want the guy to be arrogant and
Mhm.
closed off, like we cannot be the same.
We cannot
Like
be,
women
yes.
have to also be open. Don't be arrogant about it. Again, I get it. Like we're also like, yeah, we want them to come and talk to us.
Yes.
But like be a welcoming person.
Be
It's
welcoming.
okay.
Yes.
Like there's nothing wrong with like, you don't want to set off a relationship where you're a bitch with the guy anyway.
Yeah,
So
anyways,
like,
yeah. Like
just be you.
be you. I think grocery stores would be a great place to find someone. The gym, I don't know. I think when I go to the gym, but this is speaking for me, I'm focused on working out. Please
Yeah,
don't talk
same.
to me.
I'm the same.
Don't talk to me. I have my headphones in. Leave me alone.
I also look like trash.
Oh, me too. I don't.
I'm like the people who get dressed up at the gym. I'm like, I used to be in like oversized like
Yes.
hoodies, oversized sweatpants, and like
I wanna
no makeup.
sweat.
I'm like, don't fucking.
I look like
talk.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Yeah,
I show up
literally.
like, let me work out.
Yeah.
Don't care.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of the same way at the grocery store. I wear no makeup and I just
I
I
do
look
too.
like such a bum because it's right across the street. I'm like, whatever, I need
I
to
do
go get.
too. But so, I mean, some people like the whole Lululemon.
Yeah, but they
and
get to see you in real
yeah.
life, right? But it's a great way to meet people.
I think
also.
it is a great way to meet people. Go to things. I don't know.
And like do new activities.
Yes,
Like I think
comedy
it's
shows,
do
cool
stuff
things.
that you love, but also try new shit.
Yes.
Because you don't know, maybe you'll find something new, but also you'll meet new kinds of people.
Literally. I tell my friends this all the time. They all live in Orange County and they go to the same like 4 or 5 places. That's why I moved out of Orange County.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. And they're like, oh, there's no guys here. I'm like, because you don't leave the fucking place. Go to LA. Oh, I hate driving there. Don't complain. Go I was like, at least people go visit LA, right? Like there's people that are coming in and out all the time. Nobody's fucking coming to Orange County.
Nobody is going there.
Yeah, no
girls.
one's going there except for
No.
the people you keep seeing over and over. So leave your nest. Go
Leave
out.
your comfort zone.
Comfort zone, yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, like go try different things. Go to different restaurants and things and pay attention is what I would say.
Yeah.
Be aware.
I love that advice.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks.
I feel like that was a great place to wrap out this episode.
Yeah.
But this was so fun. I feel
was.
like you and I can always talk forever
I
about
know.
all this stuff.
Everything.
And especially like all things dating and relationships. I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
happy that you're with somebody
I know,
and
I never
exploring
thought.
with somebody who's like got a
Mhm.
good head on their shoulders.
Mhm.
Mr. Whoever you are, continue to have a good head on your shoulders
Yes,
and let her
please.
be her, okay? Because that's why you loved her. How can everyone find you? And actually, no, wait. Whoa. We're not done. We're
Okay,
not
okay,
done.
no.
We got
Back,
something
back,
called
back.
6 questions.
Okay, let's go.
We ask every guest the exact same 6 questions. It's been a while, so we're going to ask you again.
I don't remember them.
That's
so.
exactly why. 'cause
Okay, great.
Shit changes. So,
Okay, cool.
Joty Kay, are you ready for your 6 questions?
I am ready.
All right. What is the first thing you notice about a potential partner?
Ooh, their face.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
What is one deal breaker?
Oh, one deal breaker. That sounds so bad. Like their height. It's really bad. I'm sorry.
This is a
I'm 5'6".
judgment-free zone.
You know, I'm 5'6". I wear heels, you know.
I wish I could be 5'6".
It's
I'm 5'2.5".
fine.
What turns you on?
What turns me on? Confidence turns me on. There's difference between arrogance and confidence. I like a confident man. It's very turns me
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
It's like grounded.
Yeah.
What are one of your strengths and one of your weaknesses in relationships?
One of my strengths would be communication.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I think I'm overly communicative. Like I want to talk about it, you know, and I think sometimes that can be comfortable for some people and not comfortable. So I think that is a very strong suit, but it took me time,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of time to get that where I would say for weakness, overthinking. I'm an overthinker. Yeah.
Are you a Gemini?
No, I'm a Libra.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why we get along.
Yeah.
Gemini, Libras.
Oh yeah, I dated a Gemini actually.
Oh,
It
really?
was a great relationship, but he was just, you know,
Yeah,
much.
it's a thing. I'm always like, I'm not that Gemini.
Yeah. No, girl Geminis are different than men Geminis though. Whenever I meet a girl Gemini, they're amazing. Guy Geminis are crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I don't even
they're
think I know any
complex.
guy Geminis.
Very complex. Every time I have, like, I like them in the beginning and afterwards I'm going to bang my head against the wall. But with women, I'm like, well, I love you.
I always get the like guys are like, oh, Gemini, oh, you must be crazy. Or I met some crazy Gemini. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry
Always
about
like,
your experience.
I'm like the opposite. I'm like very quiet and grounded and not.
No,
that.
usually. The
I'm
girls are
usually
cool.
like, I will say I'm moody in the sense that like if you piss me off, like it'll, I'm like switched.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, don't talk to me for a while. But I say
was
it.
like
I
that.
don't like, I don't hide it. I'm just like, yeah, don't talk to me for a while.
That's good though. Communication, that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. What is love?
What is love? That's a great question. Wow. What is love? I guess right now, what I feel about love is what I would say. Love to me is wanting to be with someone for the rest of your life and willing to work towards the rest of your life. And I think I've noticed in relationships I've been with where I don't see the rest of my life with them, but I still stay. Because I'm like, what if? But I feel like love is when you're willing to do things together and share that space, and you feel like they're your brother, your sister, all different relationships. And I finally feel that with someone. So
Aw.
I feel like I can say like that's what love is. Like that person can be your homie, then they could be your friend, they could be like your sibling, and then they're your boyfriend. And I think that's very important because you need all things in a relationship. So
Oh, I love that for
Yeah.
you. And last question. Besides I love you, what 3 words would you want your partner to tell you?
Besides I love you.
Only 3 words.
Only 3 words. I love you. I was gonna say this, but that's so corny. That's not true. I'm gonna get home safe. I hate when people say that. I'm like, how else am I gonna get home? You think I'm gonna, Like, oh, 3 words. Was no. Damn.
That's okay. You could take
hold
your
on.
time.
What are 3 words that I would want him to say to me? I miss you.
I love that. Yeah, that's a good
I
one.
miss you.
Yeah. Well, Joty, this was so amazing. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah.
Where can everyone find you and all your amazing work?
Thanks. I have a website, jotykworld.com. And then everything Instagram. I don't have Twitter anymore. They banned me. So that's so.
Oh man, wish her you need to tell us that story
I
next
know.
time.
It's just, oh gosh. Instagram, Facebook, all things at Joty Kay, JOTYKAY. They're all, I was lucky enough to have that handled.
Yeah, you're so lucky. I don't. Somebody
know.
took it and I have like dots and underscores. And I'm like, ugh.
I know. It was just Joty Kay, like with the K. And I remember like, you know how Instagram was new? So people started calling you by your Instagram name. And I heard it. And she's like, oh, this girl was talking about you. And she said that Joty Kay girl. And I'm like, Kay, I have a ring to it. AY. So it just worked.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
So lucky.
I know.
Well, guys, make sure you follow Joty. We're going to have all the her links in the show notes of this episode. So please go there and follow her. Thank you again for being on.
No, of course, it was great. It's nice to like evolve from where I was like last time we talked, because I was really in like relationships mode and, I was outside. I was outside. So it's nice to be like, now I'm like, oh, I found someone.
No, I know.
I never thought I would say that to you guys. I never thought.
And I love it too, because I've been doing this podcast for a long time. So I, as well as like other people see my growth, I get to see other people's growth. And it's like, so it's such a beautiful thing. I always feel like all we can do is try to grow, right?
100%.
If we're the same people that we were 5 years ago, there's a problem.
There's definitely a problem.
So I'm happy to see that. And
Thank
I'm
you.
sending all the healthy, good wishes, and just keep chatting with each other, because that's the most important thing.
It is super important. Communication. Even if it's uncomfortable, that's all I can say.
It's so true.
Yeah, because in a lot of my relationships, the communication part was what was missing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yes.
And guys, thank you for listening. Please follow us on social media. We're at Kinda Dating across the board on all the social platforms. We are also on YouTube now, so please make sure you follow and subscribe to us there. See Joty's beautiful face on YouTube. And also check me out. I'm at Natasha Chandel on Instagram and Facebook, and Natasha.Chandel on TikTok. See,
woo, woo.
So complicated.
Yeah.
Natasha_Chandel on Twitter. It's weird,
Just
guys.
Google her.
Exactly. I was like, there's a link tree somewhere. Thank you, friends, for downloading this episode. If you liked something you heard, screenshot it and tag us on social media with it. If you also got thoughts, slide into our DMs. You know where to find us. Finally, I know it seems tough out there, but just try. Till next time. I hope you guys enjoyed that video and check out our next one. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to this channel for more amazing dating, love, and relationship advice from me and so many expert guests. Follow us on socials. We're at Kinda Dating across the board. I'm Natasha Chandel, so you can find me too if you like. And join our newsletter on www.kindadating.com for lots of exclusives. See you soon.